North London is red, Spurs get the blues, Bruno is sacked, and Manchester United get whacked.
Evening, Tate.
Good evening, Jack. How are we?
Yeah, I'm surprisingly okay, I think. I mean, after the weekend that we'll talk about, but yeah, how about yourself?
Yeah, very well, mate. Lovely weekend. Suppose you've had a few days to recover now, and
yeah, we've dissected it already, so I'm ready.
We're looking forward to this pod. But before we break into the action, we'll start with the teaser. So, as you may be aware, Manchester City became the third side in the Premier League history to have two players score hat-tricks in a single game. Can you name the other two?
Other two teams? Or
teams, and if you want bonus points,
go for the players.
The players.
Wow.
So Manchester City became the third side in the Premier League history to have two players score hat-tricks in a single game. Can you name the other two?
Alright, we'll have a think about it, but yeah, I can already tell that's going to be horribly wrong, so all those that are listening, yeah, laugh it off, but yeah, we'll come back to that.
Okay, right. There's only one place to start.
Oh, God, here we go.
Do you want to start?
Not really.
Right, we start the Emirates. And like we said with your brother last week, it was the anticipated fast start from Arsenal.
Yes, yeah, it was.
They came out the blocks.
Although I wouldn't actually say I was expecting more. Don't get me wrong, you weren't bad. I wasn't like, oh, you're rubbish. We should have been two. No way. But what basically I'll get onto it. But what happened in the second half at the start, that's what we expected from the first half. But yeah, it was a relatively good start from Arsenal.
Going back before the start, were you happy with the team?
Yeah, I don't think we could do much better than that. Maybe.
Because Kulusevski was out when he
Kulusevski would have liked him to have played, but yeah, Richarlison, Son, Kane is no major drop off at all. I quite like that, and yes, we'd like Royale not to be anywhere near our club, but he is, and Conte likes him. So on paper, before what happened, you'd say yeah, fair enough. That's as good as we got. Yeah,
when Arsenal had Zinchenko and Partey passed late in the fitness tests, so they started.
Shock horror.
They
your best players that create your best 11 were suddenly fit all of a sudden.
Odegaard came back into the starting lineup.
Yeah, right.
That's as strong as we get, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, you could argue maybe Tierney for Zinchenko or vice versa, but they're both very good players.
I think both sides
as strong as I could have hoped.
Yeah, as good as they could be, I think. And then that Partey.
So. What happened before the goal? We had a couple of chances. I think Martinelli hit the post.
Yeah. It was bang on. You scored.
Ramsdale made a good save.
You scored literally just for 20 minutes, didn't you?
Yeah.
And that's what we were all saying before the game. Get through that first 20, 25 minutes, sort of 0-0, whatever. Like keep it tight. We're still in the game, and then lo and behold, Partey smashes one in top corner.
It was his 57th time lucky from outside the box.
Yeah, that's what I've got, and we'll talk about the whole game, but Partey scores a worldie, Xhaka scores. Partey and Xhaka, two centre midfielders who are there to sort of shield and guard your back four, and they go and score. Like Partey, with all his off-the-field antics, and God knows what's going on with him, potentially injured, shouldn't even be playing, and goes and scored a worldie inside 20 minutes.
His first worldie for us as well.
Ridiculous.
An absolute hell of a strike. At first I thought, keeper maybe, but then I watched the replay, I was like, far too harsh. It's gone way outside the post, curled back in top corner.
But he'll never do that again. And like you just said, 57th attempt, he'll never, may not even score again for Arsenal. Probably, I would be quite inclined to say that he'll never score for Arsenal again, and he does it Saturday. It's ridiculous.
It was got a lovely move, 22 passes to build up to this strike.
Yeah.
But I thought richly deserved, I think, for the first 20 minutes. I know I'm probably biased, but I thought the first 20 minutes we were the better team on the front foot.
Yeah, you're always going to play that way, though, and we're always going to play the way we play. That's one thing, that's our style, that's Conte, that's what he wants. And he'd look at that goal, and he'd go, a long distance shot from 25 yards,
what can you
do hit the top corner. And defensively, we were setting our blocks and all that rubbish. And they would have thought, right, we look all right there. That's fine. We've pushed the ball inside to Partey. He's had a long shot, and there's not much you can do about it. But
what I did notice from that goal was where every single time Saka got the ball, Tottenham every time. So the left back was Perisic, and then you had Son always track back, and there was always Tottenham.
Yeah, Saka was pretty quiet.
And that's where Son overcovered, left Ben White free, and your two centre midfielders, one who I imagine we'll probably get onto a bit later on.
What a
overcovered.
So many things.
They're too deep and gives Partey.
But then that's the thing I'm saying about all our blocks, and we've got 5 at the back, and then we've got our 2 in the midfield, and we look okay, blah blah. But no one goes near the ball at all. No one, even when you're saying about Saka, no one goes near him. No one goes near Ben White. No one, like Højbjerg or Bentancur, don't just sprint out a Partey, go and press the ball. Like, you can sit back and play this defensive counter-attack football, but you can still be intense and aggressive when you're pressing the ball, when you want to get the ball back. It's painful. It's so painful to watch.
Well, I think after the goal, you actually grew into the game a bit. I thought that's when maybe Arsenal took their eye off the ball a bit and were a bit lax defensively. And I thought all your best chances came from the counter-attack football, which you think you probably are the best counter-attacking team in the league.
And we are. I didn't really notice it whilst at the game, but we had so many sort of missed opportunities where, obviously, like we're saying, that counter-attack, that style relies massively on you being really effective and really good with the ball. And there were so many chances where Son overplays the ball, or Richarlison hits it 10 yards long and it should have been. Perisic takes a large touch, or Kane misplaces a pass, and it looks like we're playing bad. But if those moments come off, and even the goal itself, our penalty, Son plays that
awful pass,
terrible ball into past Richarlison. Richarlison should be 1-on-1 going at Ramsdale to score, but instead he's pushed towards the byline and makes something out of nothing, and the Arsenal defenders sort of fall asleep.
They cock it up, don't they?
They make a massive error and they panic. But like I just said, Son's pass to Richarlison in the first place, shocking, absolutely shocking. And that happened constantly in the first half, all the time. And it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, I thought Son had a very off game for his standards. He wasn't.
He's been like that.
He weren't great
the whole season.
Like I said, leading up to penalty, that pass was shocking. And then Arsenal obviously gave away another penalty against Spurs. And Kane scored his 7th penalty.
7th penalty. 7th pen, 14th goal in 18 North London derbies. And
some record, isn't it?
And he surpassed Thierry Henry in all London fixtures. He scored 44, Henry scored 43. Obviously, Henry's done plenty more. I'm sure you'll nib at that and give me a little...
Who's played more games, though? I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue.
Well, in terms... that's just purely London fixtures.
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't know that, true.
I have no idea.
I imagine quite similar, if not... Maybe Henry a few more.
No, I literally have no idea.
Yeah. But, Harry Kane is also a 100th away goal scored in the Premier League as well, so...
They had very good. Said that he missed his last one, so I was like, well, he's never missing this one.
No chance. I'm glad that fraud Ramsdale as well sent him the wrong way. What a div. Take your knee slides and cup in your ears.
He didn't do any knee slides, did he?
Up north, wherever you're from.
Did you see Richarlison gave him a bit after as well?
I didn't see that.
I've only seen that the last couple of days.
We were very happy in the away, and that's all I'll say. But first half in general, and that was a huge, not problem, but what happened was, so we went down at half time, and we were sort of not quietly confident, but we were quite happy with how it went. We sort of all said it would go that way, and it did. We got a goal. We're in the game. It's 1-1. We'll come out second half and show a bit of fight, and maybe go for the win or whatever. Keep it tight. Just stay in the game and maybe get a result. We all knew going into it our record there is disgusting, and we deep down probably thought it's a home win. It's gonna be that way, and second half came out exactly what we thought would happen. Yeah,
well, Arsenal started on the front foot, came out the blocks reasonably early, but it's nothing we do in the second half, to be honest. And you'll see, like you said, when Saka got the ball on that right hand side, it was doubled up again. Son overcovered again. He cut in, got a shot away for once. Lloris spills it, hits Romero, hits Lloris underneath him again.
Lloris grabs thin air.
And then Jesus.
Disgrace. Absolutely.
Jesus does well not to foul anyone. You see him something, because he nearly hit the goalkeeper, didn't he?
Yeah, but Jesus probably confused. Why the hell am I about to tap this in? What are you two idiots doing in front of me? That's why. Lloris has been a fantastic goalkeeper, Tottenham, and he's a fantastic goalkeeper, but for whatever reason, when we play Arsenal away, he just becomes like Paul Robinson, just pure camera saves and flapping at everything. He's like me in goal. He's useless. He's a World Cup winner. Great, well done. But that mistake is a disgrace. Absolute disgraceful bit of, if you can call it goalkeeping, it is whatever. But I wanted to chin him. Honestly, I wanted to run up to him and chin him. And if I was Harry Kane, I'd be in his face screaming at him. If I was Eric Dyer, I'd be in his face going mental. The bloke grabbed thin air.
Do you know
How
it'd be a
can
bit
that
harsh
be
though?
accepted? Harsh.
Yeah.
Harsh.
Yeah.
Harsh.
I guess I think it's.
Oh no.
I think it's Romero as much as him because Romero. Obviously,
no way.
I can't really blame Romero, but he's also hit him and it's bounced in.
So the initial save that Lloris attempted to do pushes it forward into the centre back. So if you're goalkeeper 101 at any level,
you
don't
it
push
wide,
it into the danger area. That's what they're all told and supposedly they're all aware of. So Lloris pushed it into his defender's leg, hits Romero, so it comes back to him at snail's pace, and he just leaps over the ball. I'm underplaying it. Lloris,
it's not. The second bit isn't
disgusting.
great. I think the first. I think where obviously it hits Romero is a bit unlucky. I think Romero's trying to pass it back to him or shield it to him. I don't know if he could do any better.
I think he's in a position where if it comes towards him like it did, there's not a lot he can do because he's so close to the action and he's trying to block Jesus, obviously, and it just come off his leg and Lloris. It's just disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful.
And that was 4 minutes into the second half, which obviously, like you said, not a great start, but that was the start you expected Arsenal to make in the first half.
And what happened in this, like I said, what happened at the start of the second half is what we thought would happen in the first half, and it did to some extent. But the second half you just upped it again, and
I think that was about. I don't think Spurs really did anything in the second half. I know obviously we'll get on to it later, but I think people were saying, the red card changed. I don't think it did.
No. It was 2-1. It was done. It was done. And
we were playing well. Remember, we had the chance. Obviously, Jesus went down. It was never a penalty, but then it came across, and Ben White crossed it, and then he should have buried that. That should be 3-1.
Was that the header?
Into the ground.
Yeah, I don't know how. That was one of them. You watch it.
I think he hurt his ankle when he jumped up too early. Or whatever.
You see the ball come across, and you're just expecting it to hit the net, and it obviously didn't. But that was a big opportunity for Jesus.
And we should move on to the red card.
Yeah.
First glance, I thought it looked bad, like it just because from the camera angle, and obviously he's screaming around rolling the foot, which he does. He does make some meal of it. It looked like it was the first yellow. I think that was the first yellow anyway of the game. Or was going to be.
There's not a lot happening. There
weren't many fouls or anything.
No.
So I thought that's a yellow. And then as the replays were shown, they didn't show any replays yet. They were showing a replay of something else before that, and then you heard all the cheering, and it was like, he's been sent off, and I thought maybe he's pushed someone or said something. Yeah,
that's what I thought. I was watching it, and I thought
that's what my brother thought. It was their game.
I thought Richarlison had been sent off.
Yeah,
because I saw Royale make a foul, and I assumed it sort of died down. There wasn't a lot happening, and then I thought Richarlison stepped over him and like stamped on him, spat at him, done something stupid.
Yeah,
and it turned out Royale anyway. But
the thing at first glance, I didn't think it was a red, but it's one of them ones I think. If the ref gives him a yellow, he's not overturning it.
Yeah, no,
but because he's given, I've seen players probably sent off for things similar.
Yeah,
the thing what I get, it's not a tackle, it's a foul.
Yeah,
he hasn't gone to make the play. He's just literally left one on him.
Yeah, but he's so stupid.
It's a stupid challenge.
He can't even. All he needs to do is just trip him up or whatever, barge him on the floor, whatever, or just leave him. But he wanted to stop him. He wasn't going anywhere. But whatever reason he had to stop him. So like you just said, just trip him up or do something that's bit subtle, but not a scrape down the back of the leg, and lo and behold, Royale does.
So I don't know if you could tell from obviously where you were there, but all the Brazilians and the South Americans were at each other all game.
But
so
you could tell.
You had
I sensed that.
Richarlison and Gabriel were at each other the whole from the minute, and Gabriel had lost his head. I think that's why he made that challenge because he was all over the place.
And we have Romero on the pitch as well.
Romero versus Martinelli were a couple of times they were just at each other. Jesus and Romero were just shouting at each other.
Just that typical South American. Argentina, Brazil hate each other anyway, but even obviously Richarlison's Brazilian. When he's got up against the same sort of country, and they all know each other, they all speak a total different Portuguese, different language to most. So exactly. They're feisty, horrible characters. They're brilliant footballers, but they've also got that horrible, dirty. And
I think especially those three Arsenal boys all had a chip on their shoulder for not being put in the squad.
Yeah, that was strange. I don't know what.
Richarlison and
I think Royale was. And Royale's a fake Brazilian. I don't know where he's from. He's not from Brazil, that's for sure. He's awful. I despise the bloke. He's a shambolic fullback, probably one of the worst fullbacks in the Prem ever, potentially. Just with Spurs, we went from Kyle Walker, now we've got Royale. So we've had the likes of Trippier, who everyone hated for some reason, just a good player.
Why did he get sold at the end? Did he fall out of Poch?
It was literally what I said. Like people got on his back and. It was, we need something better. We need to get something better, and almost like the club heard that and went through with that and bought the second worst right back in the world, Aurier, who now plays for Forest. So
they looked at what's he played? PSG. Oh, he must be good.
Yeah.
That's literally what they've done.
Aurier's, is another whole topic in itself.
Because it wasn't like you sold Trippier to bloody Newcastle at the time. You sold him to Atletico Madrid. So they must have
goes and wins the league. Like, he's a quality player. Ridiculous. But I personally don't think it was a red card. If you look at other examples, like Van Dijk's against Everton wasn't a red card. Look, is it Lokonga for Arsenal? Was it United this year?
Yeah.
It wasn't a red card. So if you're talking about consistency of refs and all that rubbish, it's not a red card. Yes, he's obviously put his studs into the back of the bloke's leg, but there was nothing in the tackle. Like, it wasn't forceful. It was just a lazy, rubbish bit of defending, basically. And I don't think it was a red card. But like you said, I think if it was a yellow, no way it's getting overturned. No way.
The thing I think
it's a red, and again, it's not getting overturned.
What doesn't help him is, like you said, the Lokonga one and the Van Dijk one were mistimed tackles. Yeah. That wasn't a tackle. It was just a flick of the leg, and he could. The ball's on his right hand side.
Yeah.
And he's gone, and he's fouled his left ankle. Yeah. Just literally put his.
And that's what I'm saying. He wasn't
so
even
stupid.
Like me and Tate now about probably a yard away. Royale wasn't even. He wasn't even this close to Martinelli. I don't think he was so far from him.
And he corner flag.
Yeah, and he could have either got him like he did on the back of the leg, or he could have got his boot, or he could have missed him totally. Like, he's just an idiot and should never ever play for Tottenham again. Although he's starting tonight in the Champions League. So he's a donut.
Because I sent you something last night, didn't I, about Conte saying Doherty hasn't been up to the level. What's happened to Jed Spence? Is he just Championship?
Apparently so. That is the only positive from Saturday, is that Royale's got sent off, so he's out for 3 games, and someone has to play. Someone's got to play in the league. So if that's Spence or Doherty,
Perisic right back.
Yeah, he might. Whatever he does, it's going to be Royale can't be on the pitch, so there's a bonus for us. But I don't know about Spence and even Doherty. Like, surely they're looking at Royale and going, "What have I got to do to get in this side? Like, I've got to do something in training. I've got to go and talk to the manager. Something like." Surely that's the perfect opportunity. But yeah, like you said, Conte's come out in a week or whenever, yesterday I think, or might be this morning, and give a bad comment. But I think if you obviously take that quote out,
you can't context,
word out of a sentence, it sounds awful. Basically, what does he say? Like,
he hasn't given me the level required.
Yeah, hasn't given me the level required, and then he goes on to say straight away that I'm not stupid, I don't want to lose. But yes, that sentence sounds awful, and it's quite funny when you look at the video and there's a little photo of Mac Doherty, but yeah, when you listen to the whole thing and the whole conversation, he's not actually saying Mac Doherty is not playing because I don't want to lose. But yeah, he obviously just doesn't have faith in him. And Conte's a very stubborn individual, and he has his 11 players, and that's it.
Because Doherty was first choice when he ended last season, wasn't he? Or he got injured, didn't he?
He got an injury, and then he sort of come back, and then he was doing okay and was in the team a lot of the time, and then he got injured again. But surely they're better options. And they're not good. Like, Doherty's not a fantastic player, but he's an improvement on Real, surely.
Yeah, and that was he got sent off in the 62nd minute, and after that it was curtains.
Game over.
Within 5 minutes, Xhaka scored a good goal.
Yeah.
Partey won the ball, flicked it over your mate, the Denmark Viking.
I wish he was Dutch. He might be good.
Flicked it over the Viking. Played it into Martinelli, a nice little exchange of Xhaka, and it's one of them ones when he took that touch in, you knew it was a goal.
As soon as Xhaka sort of pulled his left foot back, I was back in Chelmsford, I think. So.
Thumped it into the corner.
Disgrace.
Emirates erupted.
Shock, Lloris flapping at it like, honestly.
You ain't saving that.
Oh, you ain't saving. I mean, it's just by Lloris' left foot, so
it was fire. Xhaka boom.
Xhaka boom. But even the first goal, like, Partey's run away celebrating and Xhaka's in his face. It just
the midfield dynamo.
Oh, it's awful, and that's what I'm saying. Xhaka and Partey's not a bad player, but we'll get on to Højbjerg and our midfield and Ben's core. But the maestro that's Højbjerg, the player of the month, scores goals. He can pass the ball. He does all the dirty work. Where was he Saturday? So Xhaka ran over him, ran through the bloke. Where is Højbjerg?
There was one
Go
moment,
on and on.
There was one moment. There's obviously Arsenal won, and this is why Jack's sitting here in an Under Armour t-shirt and not his
not my Danish,
not his full kit.
Yeah, thank God.
But I don't know if you can remember. I think it was 2-1 before the red card. It might be Richarlison running down the right wing, and he cut the ball back. Very similar position to where Partey was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We said the same thing. And I went, no, this is
imagine.
And Højbjerg just like caressed it into Rose.
Yeah.
And then he had the audacity to claim for a corner.
I I want to get onto him so bad, but we've got other things to cover. But
to claim for a
he's
corner.
he's awful. He's an awful bloke. I hate him. And all you idiots out there, if you're my friend, if I spoke to you about him, you idiots, please message me and come at me now about Højbjerg, please.
And obviously Xhaka scored 67th minute, and then Conte nearly made 5 subs.
Yeah.
Apparently it wouldn't be the first time.
What, he's done it, or just
no,
in general?
Solskjaer apparently was the first person.
Oh, don't
to do
blame him. But then, watching the Champions League.
So
but
5 subs. If you want to be needed 4, but you take 5 subs and you want 10 men on the pitch, it's half your fucking team.
yeah, good. They should have just took them all off and gone back to the bus. It was awful.
I think after that was you went 5-3,
just
1,
stopped,
just
Please
shut up
no
shop.
more
And
goals,
Arsenal for the next 20 minutes just passed the ball around.
Yeah, but it was embarrassing. Big Willie nutmeg skip. I saw.
Oh, that was lovely.
Yeah, that was nice.
I think the only chance we had was what's his name? Tierney had a nice drive from 20 yards out.
Game was.
It's a shame old Eddie only got 8 minutes in the end again.
He could have.
If he had scored, run away 4G at the Emirates.
Yeah. 4G. Yeah,
that would have been something.
Bad.
But
the thing about Spurs, that, like you said, we had obviously had the sending off, but Dyer got booked in the 93rd minute. You're down to 10 men, you're getting battered. It's 3-1. Surely I'd just be weighing people in. If I was Dyer, I'd just be running, charging about, and sliding and studs up at every opportunity, trying to hurt someone. Take your anger out on them. Just allowing you to prance around and probably getting olayed from the.
Martinelli was doing a lot of that, to be fair. Down the right wing, it's just
showboating,
prancing around.
Yeah, you and every right to. Like, why wouldn't you? But if you're a Tottenham player, it's awful. It's a typical Tottenham performance at Arsenal. Typical.
Well, Arsenal scored another 3, and an interesting thing. Obviously, we've started the season very well for our standards. Normally, we're quite slow starters. We have been over the last few years. Arsenal now scored 20 league goals in their first 8 games. Arsenal reached their 20th goal in their 16th game last season.
Bloody hell.
So we're 8 games earlier, half of that. I think it was December. In December, we scored our 20th goal. We've done it already.
No, and I'm obviously moaning about Tottenham and how bad we're, wherever you talk about the goals, but you can't argue. Arsenal are at the moment a very, very good side, and you can't avoid the fact you can't lie and pretend, Spurs are right. No, Arsenal are just at the minute a very, very good side.
But I think, like we said with Harry last week, that derby days normally go to the home team.
Yeah, your home record we spoke about last week is ridiculous. I've got some figures.
It normally goes to like
since 2006 when you went to the Emirates, you've only lost 42 times at home, 42 times. So, and you average a season about 12 wins at home. And you average losses season about 2.5, and then obviously draw the rest. So your record at the Emirates is ridiculous. Yeah,
we've always been quite good, but apart from that one lockdown season where we were just atrocious.
Yeah, 20. That's it. Your worst season was 2020, 21.
Yeah.
When I think you won 8, lost 7.
Yeah.
And shock, we didn't beat you then either. So one of those 8 was against us.
But you did score a Puskás goal. So.
Yeah, Lamela, but. Yeah, you had that one poor season at home, but your record, regardless of where you finished in the league and what you've done, whatever, but your home record, your Arsenal at home at the Emirates is incredibly tough, whoever you are. So if you're average losing 2.5, 3 games a year, it's, do you know what I mean, that's what top 3 sides, and you're finishing 4th sort of thing. So it's a very, very hard place to go, and Tottenham haven't won there since 2010. So we knew what we were going into. It's just the way we lose. It's the way we went about it, and we just, again, crumbled at the Emirates. Crumbled.
Do you think Conte got it wrong with his tactics, or you think that's how you've been playing all season?
Yeah, you could argue that, but I just think it's Conte. I'm not supporting him or saying it's the right thing or wrong thing, but he won't. He's too stubborn. He won't change. Yeah. And everyone say, we should go at him. We've got the players to go at him. But I mean, even from Nuno, Mourinho, and Conte now, we haven't changed the way we played. They all played the same system. Even like Nuno, everyone disliked him, said how bad he was. But Conte's doing no different to what those two did previous to him. So like I said, he won't change the way. I mean, you could. Yes, the players on paper look like they could play a different way, but he just won't do it. And it's, like I said before, that way the system he plays, it relies heavily on you being perfect going forward, and we weren't. We were just awful.
So we are here, Jack. Obviously, Arsenal won the game. So Jack had to provide the beers, and he asked, "What did I fancy?" I thought, I know he was going to go in on his Danish friend.
Yeah, should we get on to that, man?
So I said, "Why don't you get some Danish beers to
Yes.
help.
We got some Carlsberg sponsored by Højbjerg the Viking. Thank you, Pierre.
Shall I give you the floor,
Uh,
or do you
No,
want to
no,
go into it later?
no, we'll have a little. We'll hover over Højbjerg. I've said a fair bit already about him, but yeah, just again, and Bentancur was next to him and he was as bad, but Højbjerg, all those people saying how good he was and that he's such a good player and his passing is brilliant. He scored a couple goals and he tackles and all the rest of it. Where was he Saturday in a big game and a big moment? Where was Højbjerg? Absolutely disgraceful. The bloke is shocking and shouldn't wear a Tottenham shirt. Him and Royale need to go pack their bags and leave. They're awful. Anyone who wants to talk to me about that man, please message me. I'll give you my number. I'll meet you down the bunker. Whatever you want. Please tell me that Højbjerg is a good player, because he's not. He's awful. Absolutely awful.
Can I ask you one question?
Go for it.
You got Brighton away on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather start Oliver Skip?
Skip every day.
Yeah.
Skip every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I would do that. Conte won't. He'll play the same side. And tonight we've got Frankfurt. Winks. Yeah, bring him back. Recall him off the loan. Get him back.
Would you, honestly?
I would be happier to see Winks. I know everyone will say, well, is he obviously better? I don't know. He's awful. Højbjerg has been awful. And maybe Winks is similar level, but yeah, definitely Skip. Skip and Bentancur, Basuma.
What's Basuma got to do to get a start?
I think it's to Conte. I don't think Basuma's come in and done the right things.
Him,
yeah, and that's fine. That you can accept that. But when your players in your position are playing that bad, like I said about the right back Royale, Doherty surely got to be given a chance. The centre midfielders, Skip. I know Skip's been injured, but Basuma surely give him a chance. He played one time at West Ham when he had to because of injuries and suspensions and stuff. But surely, like you said, what has he got to do? What has a bloke got to do? He's obviously been bought for a reason. Just play him. But yeah, it was just about Spurs. It was just a typical performance at Arsenal. We done okay for a little spell. We thought, right, we're in the game, and then come out and just get absolutely torn apart. So,
and that left you third, 4 points behind Arsenal.
Yeah. And losing. Yes, I'm annoyed about losing, but there's so many other things come before that in relevance to the game in Tottenham that wind you up even more. Like, we can take losing. We haven't won at Arsenal since 2010, so Arsenal beating Tottenham.
Before that, not since 19.
Exactly, Arsenal beating Tottenham
or something like that.
Yeah, Arsenal beating Tottenham in general it just doesn't. That's irrelevant. Like, that doesn't concern us. That's a regular occurrence, but it's just the way we go about it, or the lack of performance that we put in is just embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
And yeah, the BT show gave Granit Xhaka man of the match. My captain.
Yeah. and again, I've moaned a lot about Spurs and players and stuff, but you deserve that. You 100% deserve that. You were the far better side. You dominated the ball as you expected, and yeah, you just deserved the win there. If you didn't come away from that game and you hadn't won, then it would have been an absolute robbery. Absolute robbery.
Yeah, I think just if you think overall the players, I think Arsenal average probably every player was a 7, maybe Zinchenko maybe a 6, and then you had your outstanding. I thought Jesus was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah. He was
Partey, Xhaka were very good.
Ramsdale didn't have a lot to do, did he?
Apart from
the penalty, but the penalties.
So I think you only had,
up against it.
Apart from the penalty, you had one shot on target, which was that Richarlison's.
Which was I don't remember.
Richarlison's chance in the first half.
Yeah.
Which I think it was. I think it was offside. I don't know.
I reckon it would have been, but it was a very good opportunity. But he sort of just fluffed it. Didn't
he had nothing to do. He had no knee slides. Every time he got the ball, he kicked along anyway. Because I think Jesus.
You didn't need
to. Pinning your centre back.
Yeah,
down.
and you just had the ball within your 10 outfield players anyway. You didn't. Like other games, you might use Ramsdale more, but you just didn't have to. You had the ball in our half, dominated us. So
I thought Saliba was Gabriel was a bit shaky. He seems to have shaky games against the bigger teams. He gets a bit too. He's a very emotional player. Whereas I thought Ben White played well, and so did Saliba. Yeah, I think they all played. Martinelli was. I thought Saka was very good, even though I think Spurs showed him.
He's quiet though, he hasn't.
But they showed him so much respect.
Yeah,
they was touring him all the time. Son was tracking him back all the time.
Yeah. But it was. But then, like I said, at 3-1 the games. I mean, 2-1 with 10 men, but 3-1 at that point is 100% done.
Yeah.
Similar to what happened to City, really, and get onto it. But I imagine that last half hour, not that I was anywhere near the Emirates, but I can imagine that Yeah, it was just a training exercise, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah, it was my only shame. I know you can't moan at a 3-1 whatsoever,
Yeah.
but Man City playing that game, make that 6.
Yeah.
They go for the jugular.
Yeah.
They bring on, and obviously Arsenal can't do it, but they
Yeah.
bring on your Mahrez's, your
Yeah.
buddy, who's that new Alvarez. They bring
Just
on
pummel them, didn't they? into the
Grealish.
ground,
They bring
yeah.
on who they fancy, and it pummels them 6-1.
And that's with Arsenal as well. At the minute, they are a very good side, but at half time we were 1-0. We had, no matter how poorly we had played or how good, but we were in the game at half time, and I think Arsenal still have that vulnerability that teams could get at them and get a result.
Yeah.
And you lost at United away, for example, when they played Tottenham played them. Yeah, but it's they played a similar way to what Tottenham tried to do, and I'm not saying that's the way to beat Arsenal, but there's definitely ways around. Yes,
honestly,
they're brilliant going forward,
the big
but
thing there is no Thomas Partey. Honestly,
true.
without him, we don't tick.
But that's what I've said about Arsenal, is that that 11 Sunday or Saturday, sorry, is brilliant. That is a brilliant 11 players, but past that 11, you are scraping the barrel.
There's
massively.
some players we can move out. Like I wouldn't really that back four. If we lost any of them for injury, I don't think that really weakens it too much.
Well, even centre half, because I suppose you could
because
move
Ben White moves
White,
across,
yeah.
Tomiyasu comes in.
Yeah.
Any more than that, I wouldn't. Midfield is an issue.
Yeah, I think that's a big problem, because Xhaka's doing well at the moment for you, but I just don't think he's a good player, and that will come.
He looks a lot better playing.
He's
so
doing
much
a different
higher up
role.
the pitch.
Yeah, I know he's
playing that
role.
like I call it quote unquote the Gundogan role for Man City, where he's
Bit of everything.
Rodri's doing what Partey does.
Yeah.
Gundogan is doing Xhaka's doing what Gundogan does, and then De Bruyne is our Odegaard.
Yeah.
If you would.
Yeah, and that's
the gimmick. That's what we copied.
If any of those are out, you're struggling. And Smith Rowe's out now with an injury as well. I don't know. Is he out for a long time, or is it?
He misses the World Cup. Well, not even at the World Cup squad anyway. But
so he's quite a tough, rough injury, whatever it might be. But yeah, those sort of players, and you got a lot of young players on the bench and that will play in Europe and things, but they're probably not. Well, they're not near the standard that your first 11 is. So that's got to affect you massively in terms of the title, but. Yeah, no, it's like you're saying, just a very good performance from Arsenal. Fully deserved the win. There's no question about that at all.
Yeah, I think that pretty much ends the North London derby. Yeah. Should we have a quick little break and then we'll go on to the Saturday games?
Yeah, let's have a little break. And whilst we get to the break, Højbjerg is still rubbish.
Hello, listeners. It's former England and Premier League player Matt Jarvis here. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Remember to support the podcast by sharing with your friends and family and leaving that 5-star review. Now come on, you Irons, and stay loyal.
Cheers for that, Matt. If you could let Jason, your agent, know that we are still waiting a response from your email, that would be great.
Yeah, cheers, Matt.
Still waiting for the response back to the podcast, back to the bunker.
Yeah,
but it'd be great to have you on. Anyway, let's move on to the Saturday games, and we'll start at Palace.
Yep, Palace Chelsea, wasn't it?
Which I thought could be a potential banana skin for Chelsea.
Yeah, they're a strange team, but at the moment with what's happened, but I thought Palace were quite good. The way they played, I was hoping they'd give a similar game against Arsenal when they played, but didn't work out that way. But yeah, Palace started well, didn't they? 1-0 up early on.
Started with Edouard, scored the goal, but then like we said, Palace absolutely robbed this game, to be honest.
Oh yeah, there's a few talking points.
They go 1-0 up after 7 minutes, playing really well, and then how on earth Thiago Silva has got away with a yellow card there?
How's it not a red?
Am I right in saying the ref even went to the monitor and then still stuck with his decision?
Yeah, I think VR, and he looked to the monitor. Everything. How's he?
Told him to go to the monitor, and he's still.
Just Silva's just been totally caught out, totally out of position, just huge mistake, and he's tried to rectify it by just his sort of initial reaction, just instant, is to punch the ball, move it away from the player, but it just is a definite red card. There's no what is the reasoning? What is the reasoning for it?
And it's goal. It's denying of a goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah. It's blatant cheating.
And he's gone for it twice. He went for his shoulder, and then he realised it wasn't enough. And then grabbed it back with his hand.
Surely blatant. I was thinking as well recently that blatant cheating is a red card. Like if it's a trip on the last man, or like Thiago Silva just done, that is a red card. It's awful.
Well, funny you just brought that up. Actually, I just thought off the top of my head. Do you remember that, buddy? Oh, think about it. Let me get my words out quickly. If Thiago Silva hasn't been sent off for that handball, Forest got away with two.
two.
They got one handball
Yeah.
off the line in one save,
Yeah,
and
and
then what was the basketball one against you lot? Steve Cook, was it?
Steve Cook, yeah.
Who,
That's the same.
parried
That's a
over.
red card because they said their reasoning was that Harry Kane wasn't going to score. It's blatant cheating. I just don't get it. I don't
And they're two
understand
handball decisions.
Mm.
I've just thought they were talking about two
Yeah, no, you're right.
blatant handball
100%
decisions
right,
that
yeah.
are straight red cards in any
Yeah.
other day. And why is it this season
know.
they've changed that to a yellow?
I know, and it seems to always be the way, but it's always Chelsea. Chelsea, absolutely horrible, slimy football club, and they've got away with another one.
But that's
It's
why I feel so
ridiculous.
sorry for Palace, because he's about 25, 30 yards out
Yeah.
from goal. And what does he get? He gets a yellow card and get a free kick there. That
Yeah.
does not help him.
No,
I use through on goal.
no, yeah,
I mean, Rhys James is probably 5 yards behind him. He
Mm.
might catch him up, but I doubt it.
and on paper, and it's a whatever day it is of the weekend after the game itself, after the fact, but in that moment in the game, that is massive. That is huge for Palace, and that might mean getting a point or 3 points or staying up, going down. And that moment there where Silva's not been red carded is huge for them, and it shifts the whole mentality of the players, their attitude towards the game, Vieira's attitude. I think Vieira got booked after that instant because he obviously was booting off. But yeah, it's massive in football, and it's such another poor, well not poor, and a wrong, horrible decision by the refs. It's just again they're wrong.
Well, you worded that absolutely perfectly, because 5 minutes after, in the 38th minute,
Yeah,
they had a long diag, and Silva's the one knocked it down.
Pops up,
And Aubameyang scored his first goal for Chelsea. Very good goal.
Good finish,
Yeah.
great little turn.
Sent
and shot,
sent Joe Ward to the shops and smashed it in the corner.
Yeah.
But like I said, the bloke shouldn't even be on the pitch.
No, and it changes the whole, like that ball might not have been played, and no one might have could have.
Because it's a great
someone
knockdown.
else. Gallagher,
It's a great
Gallagher could have jumped up and tried to chest it, or Aubameyang might have been out there and tried to head it on, or whatever. It just changed the game, and Silva shouldn't even be on the pitch, and they've just got away with another one. And there's nothing the Palace players at that moment can do about it. It's just it's so
absolutely
frustrating.
wrong which is just a shocking
Just
decision.
terrible, just another shocking referee decision.
And I think the game was pretty even after that. I know Kepa made a good save.
Yeah, there wasn't.
It was a bit back and forth.
Yeah, Chelsea weren't brilliant either. They're not brilliant at the minute at all. I
Mm.
don't think, and they're not good at all. They're a bit like Liverpool. They're on a bit of a just all over the place. I mean, are they? Just
The
no
thing
one
with Chelsea,
really
they
knows
just
what's
look-
going on.
They're fifth, I think. They don't look special or anything, but they
No.
are grinding out.
They've got
These
the
results,
same squad.
they've got the players
They've
that
got
can
a
get
very
you
good squad of
results.
players, but with the change of managers and obviously Tuchel's on the downslide before he left, they're just a bit all over the place, I think. And obviously Potter's come in and trying to figure out what he likes, who he likes, and obviously none of those players are his. Yes, he had Cucurella at Brighton, but he doesn't. Aubameyang's come in. Said he wanted to play for Tuchel, he gets sacked, and now he's Potter. So it's all a bit all over the place at Chelsea at the minute, and
And then he brought Gallagher on, I think, as a sub, didn't he? And then he scored an absolute worldie in 91st
finish,
minute
yeah.
or something like that.
good turn and smash it top bins. But on that, why are you not celebrating?
Oh, Reece was fuming.
Why are you not celebrating? You're Conor Gallagher, right? Give it all the boyhood club for Chelsea, and it's a massive, huge amount. All I want to do is play for Chelsea, dream about it like any other lad would. Scores his first goal for Chelsea, absolute worlding last minute against Palace, and doesn't celebrate.
London
mate,
derby.
please, just stop. Give over that. It's just so dead. It's so dead.
Shirt off, knee slide, cup of
And
the
the way
ears.
that Palace as well was a joke.
Yeah.
It was obviously he's bedding in the top corner. He could have just ran straight to the away section. It would have been absolute scenes. But it's embarrassing. I don't get it. He was at Palace for a loan and did all right, and they quite liked him. Bore off is so boring. You're just go and celebrate. I wouldn't care less about Palace, by the way.
Go cup the ears.
I'd cut my ears. Shush. I mean, Vieira's face up. Please.
Just like RJ9 did last night.
Yeah, I heard about that. Reece, you little wind-up merchant. Yeah. But Gallagher, that's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
But another 3 points for Chelsea, and a good result for them. I think any team that wins at Palace, that's a cracking result.
It is.
Hard, tough place to go.
Yeah, definitely. And now Palace got a few games on their belt. It'd have been harder than what Arsenal had. So they did all right. It was good, but then it's like we're saying, they did well, they did this, but it's same old with that sort of team. They've lost. They haven't got 3 points. They've got 0. So
and Palace have been very unlucky. They're Palace sit fourth from bottom.
Yeah.
With 7 points, I think. But they have played Arsenal. They've played City. They've played Chelsea.
Now,
They'll be alright. They'll be alright.
Yeah, they'll be fine. I think
They've got enough good players. So
awful
they've just been very
sides in the
unlucky. Like
league.
they were 2-0 at City. Lost that. Should have got some points out of Chelsea.
Yeah. I just
but
think Chelsea
they'll
are
be
a
alright.
huge sort of like I said, similar to Liverpool. There's a bit of a reset, a bit of a big rebuild moment, and they're sort of finding their way. It's still an incredibly tough game. They're not going to challenge for the title, but they'll still be right up there.
Why does the best team in the world have to do a rebuild?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry. Talk about Reece. Only the best team. You won everything. You had the best manager, didn't you? Yeah.
But moving on to probably the best 3 o'clock or the most entertaining 3 o'clock game. Roberto De Zerbi's first game for Brighton.
Yeah, and what game it was?
What a game it was. I thought it'd probably be a bit of a routine home win. Liverpool back of form. And then after 4 minutes, Trossard opened the goal scoring. And Liverpool just looked shaky, man.
Yeah.
Defensively, and obviously Trent's been all in the press with not playing for England and whatnot. Van Dijk looks all over this, all out of sorts. Compared to he's normally the coolest, calmest, collective customer there is on the pitch. Yeah. Never a hair out of place. Probably smells divine.
Doesn't sweat.
He doesn't sweat.
Just
never gets dribbled past. They look all over the place.
They just look so open, and like saying about Van Dijk and Trent, and they're the two that have been sort of highlighted the most. But I just don't. They're not at the level that everyone's used to. It's that incredibly high standard that's been set, and winning leagues and trophies and competing in Europe and being the best team in Europe. They're just slightly dropped off. So suddenly everyone's noticed that actually we can get at them here. Like Brighton turned up at Anfield, no fear, and normally you turn up at Anfield thinking, right, I'll take 2-3-0 loss here.
Yeah.
And those two, like I said, Van Dijk and Trent have been highlighted really intensely at the moment, and Trent's been awful, but they're just so open, aren't they? So flimsy, really bizarre.
And then with 10 minutes later, it was 2-0. And the goals were all right, but I just thought the defending was just not great. I know Firmino got one back before half-time. They went into break 2-1 down. Firmino then scored again to make it 2-2 early in the second half, and then you see Webster's own goal.
Yeah, that's not what happened there.
Shambles from Sanchez, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Corner's coming.
God,
he's missed the ball, and he's just hit him on the arm and gone in.
Yeah.
And then that's when I thought, here we go, Liverpool, turn it on.
Walk away with a game here, but no.
Trossard then got his third in the 83rd minute to become the first player to score.
Since who, Tate? I've actually got the same bit of information down, so...
Sorry if your listeners who are wearing headphones.
Headphone users, that is a late warning, but yeah.
4.
Was he shushing and showing his 4 fingers? Yeah.
And he scored again that season after that.
2009 he did that, Arshavin.
Yeah, in their lovely yellow kit.
On Trossard, quick, he's scored 5 in 7 already.
Well, we mentioned it on the podcast a few weeks back, and I called him out of being... He could be like... He gives me Jota vibes of being a player that could go
under the radar. I
think could go to a big club and move a next level up.
Yeah,
I don't know which club that would be.
Yeah, Brighton got a few, not just because of he scored a hat-trick, so now we talk about him, but they've got a few decent players, and there's a few clubs like Wolves. Even we'll get onto them, but Wolves have got some similar players that are very good, and they're going under the radar for a long time. I think until someone sort of takes a punt on them. But Trossard hat-trick, he'd be fucking buzzing with that, wouldn't he? And the manager as well. The first game, no one knows nothing about him, do they? I've never heard of him. Very little about him. And I mean, yes, they went 3-2 down, but 2-0 up at Anfield, probably rubbing his hands, thinking this is easy. But
have you seen that touch he did?
Yeah, I saw that touchline, wasn't it? Yeah, brilliant. Yeah,
I think it was Alisson's goal kick, and he just donked it down, caught it, and played on.
But on Liverpool, sorry, they're 11 points off Arsenal already.
Yeah,
11 points off top.
And do you know Liverpool have dropped more points this season than they have won points this season?
Bloody hell.
So Arsenal have got 21 points, and Liverpool have got 10.
Yeah.
And Liverpool have dropped 11 points this season.
Yeah. That's got to be, they mustn't, I suppose they would have,
Which is, it sounds silly, but they're already at the title race, they don't win the league.
Yeah, 11 points, that's a huge gap already. That is a huge gap. And
it's not 11 points on City. That's where you really need to pay it off. Yeah. Liverpool got a game in hand, granted.
City is 10. It's 10 points. Yeah. 10 off City.
Arsenal got Liverpool on Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't know what the result would be, but if Arsenal won,
that's 14
Liverpool
need
points
to win that already.
And I'm saying to my dad,
start of the season.
This might sound ridiculous, but 11 points. If Arsenal win, like for example, 14 points above them.
Yeah.
Are they getting that back? 14 points above anyone's is a big lead.
That's a large gap. Yeah, it don't matter how good Liverpool turn out to be or can be. That is 14, like you said, Arsenal have got to drop 14 points essentially, and
Liverpool not drop one.
yeah, exactly, and Liverpool have got to return that favour. It's just,
I mean, obviously there's still a long way to go. There's
Yeah.
30 odd games to go still. Like it would
Yeah.
always happen, but
and even Arsenal, yes, they're right at the top, but even if they were like third, fourth, or whatever they might be, they wouldn't expect to drop 14 points from now, would they? The way they're going, so yeah, it's a Chelsea in a similar situation. Liverpool identical. It's not a good place to be, is it at all? You'd much rather be Arsenal and City running away with it.
Mo
so.
Salah still no goal for Mo Salah.
Yeah, he's
scored for a
very
little while.
quiet, isn't he? Yeah, but like you said, I thought Brighton at home, they've had a bit of break, sort of maybe have a regroup. Klopp's had a change of ideas or a few sort of hard hitting conversations, and that'd be the game. And turn up at home, Salah get a couple, they'll be back, but obviously not. Yeah,
Like we mentioned, a few teams. We haven't gone it later with West Ham. I think they just need to freshen the team up. Like,
yeah.
you spent £80 million on Núñez, and he came on. You know, came out in the 90th minute.
Yeah, he's like
Yes,
yes, they need time to bed in and stuff, but if he costs £80 million, he should be ready. Like, he should turn up
Firmino,
ready.
Last 2 years, Firmino's been in and off the bench here and there.
Yeah,
He's been their best player this year.
Yeah.
I think he must have already
he scored twice again.
Yeah, he
didn't
must
he?
have already beaten his record for last year
Yeah.
goals. They miss Mane so much.
Yeah, and I don't think they realised how much they would until now,
Yeah.
until he's gone. And yeah, the grass isn't always greener, is it? They thought they'd be absolutely fine, get rid of him and sign Núñez, but obviously not. They're it's not. Yeah,
Because Diaz on the bench as well. Diaz started on the
Yeah.
bench.
yeah, like, and Liverpool always, like I said at the start of, like I think the first episode or second episode, but all the top teams always like regenerate their sides and always buying and selling and moving players on and getting new players in. And Liverpool haven't done that this summer. They've had a terrible summer. And yeah, they're struggling now, massive. Yeah.
I mean, it could. We know it's very early days, but it could be the first time that Liverpool have got a big transfer wrong.
Yeah.
They have, or maybe Keita was one you could argue got wrong,
Yeah.
but
Possibly, yeah, it could be that.
It doesn't look
that
good.
is-
It might have scored a hat-trick tonight against
Yeah.
the Rangers and prove everyone, shut everyone up.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so far, what I've seen, and if Klopp fancied him, he wouldn't be playing 1 minute against Brighton at
No,
home.
exactly.
Like, that's
Yeah.
a game you think, let's
Yeah.
bed him in.
And that's what I said. Like 80 million on a striker, you shouldn't, like you just said, he shouldn't be getting 1 minute at Brighton
Who's
when
not
you need a goal.
overplayed either, 'cause
You need to score as well. You need a goal. You shouldn't be giving.
He hasn't
1
been
minute.
overplayed because he's
No.
been suspended for 3 games.
Yeah, and they've had the international break.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a strange one. Isn't it? He could be an absolute stinker of a signing, but yeah, I think Liverpool and Chelsea in a very similar position, and Brighton, this very
Still
good
fourth.
signs. Yeah, very good signs after Potter, isn't it? Straight away. So
I'd quite like them to maintain that.
it'd
That sort of like, it would be a
a-
shame to them to
yeah.
fall off if Potter
It
leaves.
would be pretty shocking, wouldn't it, if they suddenly were rubbish again and finished 16th because this bloke, like,
Mm.
it would be a shame. But yeah, so it's a tough game for Spurs.
But again,
on the weekend.
just one more thing on Brighton there. You saw Welbeck had 2 glorious opportunities.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's such a Brighton player.
Yeah,
That
he
he
just
creates so many good
works,
chances. He
yeah.
works his nuts off. He gets in so many good opportunities. He's got great movement, but his finishing is like
Shambles.
leaves. I don't know what the saying is. Leaves things to be desired. Is that a
Yeah.
saying? I don't know.
It can be. It
Yeah.
is now. Yeah, they.
But like you put I don't know who's like an above average Premier League player, like striker. Like I'm trying to think, top of my head.
I would say even Nketiah. If you
That's
lobbed
what I'm yeah,
if you lobbed Nketiah in that side, he'd definitely score more than
like a
Welbeck.
Mitrovic,
Yeah, if they had Mitro, they had Tony,
Callum Wilson.
Yeah,
That's the person
Callum
I was
Wilson,
thinking.
yeah.
Someone like that. Callum
and
Wilson
Danny
for there.
Ings,
Yeah.
or Watkins. Like they'd bag a few goals and
Mm.
probably improve them. But yeah, they don't. I thought a new manager as well at Anfield, it would just be a whitewash. But yeah, they don't look much different to what
No.
they started off as. So they're probably quite happy with where it's gone. I think.
Yeah. Well, should we move on to the
The
5:30?
mighty Hammers.
I thought, well, I've mentioned it before in Wolves, they don't concede many and they don't score many.
No.
They're dire to watch. I think of all teams in the Premier League right now, if I had to watch one the least, pick
Them.
one, it would be them.
Yeah. It's poor, isn't it?
Never starting at centre half because they're what was that clown that got sent off against Man City? Collins, wasn't it?
Yeah, Nathan Collins.
Nathan
big
Collins.
centre-half, yeah.
But they-
was he? I thought he just when he was on the ball, he just looked like he sat in deep. But
No, he
Neves
plays
is-
start
yeah,
centre half
Bloody hell.
because obviously they sold Connor Cody, they sold Willy Bolly,
Yeah.
they
and
sold
Dendoncker.
Dendoncker. They also
Plays midfield
they also
centre half.
released what was his name?
Saiz,
yeah, Roman Saiz. There's
gone
4
to
centre halves.
Besiktas.
Yeah. Don't remember them signing one.
No. No, they bought a midfielder, didn't they? Another Portuguese midfielder.
Yeah, Polina, was it? Something like that. Was that Fulham?
Mateo Neves or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But they just play with 4 or 5 defenders, and then the rest 5, whatever it might be, 6 midfielders. Like, they don't have a forward, and they've just got in Costa, so he might be.
He looks okay actually.
He might improve them and be a good addition, but it's just like you said, they don't score, and they haven't really conceded that many. I mean, they just play keep ball for 90 minutes. They're brilliant at keeping the ball and moving it side to side, up and down, and all the rest of it. But it sounds ridiculous, but they just don't know how to score. And you think, they're professional players, sure they do, but that is the hardest thing to do in football: is score a goal. And Wolves can't. They just can't. And like I said, maybe Costa is the answer, and he might bag a few, but. Yeah, it must be so frustrating to support them. It must be really, really frustrating.
Like you said, Wolves have scored 3 goals this season.
Yeah.
That's the lowest of any team in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's
really not great for them. West Ham look better.
Yeah, I think that's the big difference between those two sides. That I think West Ham had like 40% of the ball, so obviously Wolves dominated the ball, but West Ham wouldn't have cared at all. They were not bothered one bit, and they deserve to win. They just simply know how to score. They got players, Bowen, Skamaka. They just know how to score. They've got a system. Moyes has them playing a certain way. They have a way of scoring, and it works. And that game against Wolves, they were more than comfortable to not have the ball, and they got the 2 goals.
And I think West Ham look better. They started Skamaka, they started Cornet, and they started Keller right back.
Yeah,
just some new signings, and they've freshened it up a bit. And
good goal as well.
Skamaka's got a slight deflection on the goal, but it looks alright.
Yeah, good strike.
I think that will start. And Bowen got his first goal this season. I think that will start their building blocks. They'll be up there.
I think that's what Skamaka might need. A start, for example, like you said, and a goal and quite a decent strike.
He need to run the games.
Yeah, just give him a chance. And I've said here, but Antonio just needs to be on the bench now. He just has to be a squad player. He can play all sorts of. I know he's played up front for the last couple of seasons, but he can play all sorts of areas. He's a handful when he comes on, and that's what he needs to be. They need to allow Skamaka, their brand new signing, to play, give him a run of games, and see what he's about. But I just think that might sort of give, like you said, a little kickstart for Skamaka and West Ham in general. I think, and a sort of good game. And they've got, like we said last week, but they got a good run of fixtures now. I think they got Fulham at home this week. So they'll be hoping to get another win there, and they'll be on the up, I think. Yeah,
and that defeat left Wolves 5th from bottom, and then also left Bruno Lage without a job.
Yes, Bruno out.
So, like I mentioned before, Wolves have only scored 3 goals this season, the fewest of any team. And since April, Burnley have scored more Premier League goals than Wolves.
Oh my!
I know Wolves lost their last 5, I think, last season.
Yeah, I think they're
at the end of it.
Bruno Lage was 15 without a win.
Yeah, so his full total was 46 games, 16 wins, 9 draws, 21 defeats, and in 46 games scored 41 goals. 1 win this season.
That is a poor return.
Which was the opening day.
Yeah, that's a poor return.
I think it was the opening day against Leeds. Did they beat Leeds? Maybe they lied, I don't know.
Yeah, but even when we played them this year at home, Tottenham, and they didn't look like a bad side, but you just weren't afraid of them scoring at all. And they obviously, the stats back up, they just aren't capable of scoring. It's strange.
Yeah. I'll ask you one question about Wolves player. I was watching it and I thought, as a wild card, I'd love him at Arsenal. And now he looks absolutely drosh, but he just looks fun. He's the most un-Mikel Arteta player.
You're not going to say that, man, surely.
Big Adama.
Really?
Would you sign him at Spurs?
No, God no.
As just a wild card sub?
No, God no. If he cost nothing and we were paying him a tenner a week, yes.
£20 million?
No chance.
15 mil?
No way.
Wild card sub?
No way. No, I do understand it, but no, the bloke.
Like he's literally couldn't be any less Arteta player.
A donkey.
But I just think I think if a good coach got hold of him, there's something there. He can't dribble that well and not have.
He was at Barca as like a youth player. Went back there last season.
They didn't fancy him, did they?
And he's awful. No, he's awful. And there was that. He definitely has that fear factor. Like if you're a defender and you see that oily beast come on, then no chance. But No, he's awful. He's absolutely
I
awful.
would love him to play all of Arsenal's Europa League games. That would be like when we play Bodo
unleash him up
we
front.
play Bodo / Glint on Thursday. We're playing 2 teams.
Yeah, 22 players turn up.
I would love to have like that beast on the right hand side, or just play when we play some random team in. Imagine him in the Conference League. How fun would that be? You're playing against a load of like plumbers, and you've
He's
got
just
this
rubbish.
beast running
No.
down you. I stick him as a striker.
And like, you're smiling now. He's good to he's not good to watch. When he's not on your team, he's exciting to watch because you think, just look at him. Like, he just looks wrong. He just looks horribly wrong. But no, he's awful. Absolutely awful. He doesn't even start for Wolves.
No.
He had to come on because of, I think, an injury or something. But
Yeah, I think Neto got injured or something like that.
he just doesn't. He's rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
Right, we'll leave that there for the Saturday games. We're not going to touch on the rest of them. We'll have a quick run through.
Yeah, go on, whip through the results quick.
Bournemouth, Brentford, 0-0, skip.
Skip.
Fulham 1, Newcastle 4. Chalobah early red card completely killed the game.
Yeah.
Mitrovic injured. Almiron, Waldy.
What absolute joke of a
Newcastle
first goal.
get their first win since the opening of the season.
Yeah, and Almiron, the only note on that is, Almiron would have had a bit of a mention this week, but
we'll get on to
other
Almiron,
stuff. Yeah, other stuff happened. Just ignore that.
Southampton 1, Everton 2. Southampton took the lead, and then within 4 minutes they were 2-1 down.
Yeah,
not really much. Crazy 6 minutes, and it's the first time Everton have scored more than 1 goal in a league game this season.
And Fat Frank unbeaten in 7.
And Everton have the best defence in the league.
Oh,
Conceded 7 goals.
Oh, Viva Frank.
And we'll quickly skip it. We know it's a Sunday game, but Leeds 0, Aston Villa 0, skip.
Yeah.
Red card, Sinister, stupid dude yellows.
Yeah,
Idiot.
worst red card. Also, that game was so many yellows, so many fouls. The ref just didn't stop blowing his whistle. I don't know what was happened, but poor sides again just struggled to score. So
Yeah, and after the break, we'll talk about the best, most historic, most successful team in Manchester, the blue side, Manchester City.
move on to the Manchester derby, Tate. I feel like you have a keen interest in this game.
Yeah, wow. Well, the first note I put here is just City. Wow.
Yeah, they're a joke, aren't they? Absolute joke.
Before we get on to it, I didn't watch the game live, but I did re-watch the game in true journalist style in full. I've honestly done this in years. I actually re-watched the whole game in full of my laptop making notes for this. The reason I didn't watch it live at London Marathon, well done to everyone who ran it. Shout out to my sister who ran it very well.
Congrats, Brooke.
Well done, Brooke. Raising good money for a good charity, and everyone else out there.
Yeah, there was a few people we sort of all know that did it and whatnot, but obviously Tate, your sister Brooke, valiant effort.
Crying from mile 20 to mile 26, but
yeah,
I'd be the same if I was doing it. So
what's that? Was it 2 marathons in 4 months?
4 months,
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
So fair play. Well done. Congratulations.
Well done. And that's the reason I missed the Manchester derby.
Yeah.
But
what a game it was.
What a game. So these sort of games normally... Well, Manchester United actually have quite a good record, don't they, at the Etihad?
Yeah, you said before, didn't you?
I think Solskjaer is the best manager in terms of like wins versus... I know he's not the manager anymore.
Yeah.
But Man United have picked up more points at the Etihad than any other team in the Premier League history.
Yeah.
Did they win there last year? I can't remember. They might have done. I don't know.
But
an early goal set the tone for the game.
Yeah. Similar to what we were going through at Arsenal, but you just don't at City. You don't at the minute. You just if you concede that first 10-15, it's curtains, and exactly that. Foden and Haaland absolutely run the show, didn't they? First half 4-0. It was long gone. And
just 4 quality. Well, I say 3 out of the 4. One was a corner, but 3 quality goals. Foden with the first in the 8th. Haaland first to 34th was the off the line. Yeah, that one which was over. The 37th minute one was De Bruyne's lovely dink.
Joke of a pass.
I've seen a load of memes go around online saying if it was any other centre half he would have. Yeah, but no, that's a ridiculous pass. What a finish! And then the 37th, Haaland second, just wow. Foden's second on the 44th, just thumps it home.
Yeah, brilliant. They're just and we talk about Haaland obviously, but that was probably a bit naive for myself, but you obviously see City on TV all the time. But that was the first time I've watched and thought, bloody hell, Phil Foden's a ridiculous player, ridiculous, and he always is. But he's in a side where there's so many good players, and he just sort of gets swamped.
It's the same as Grealish, though. Like we said, I think you sent it to me. Grealish,
Yeah.
did he get a goal or he didn't get a goal or assist?
But he still played.
That was
very
probably
well.
his best game for
Yeah.
City.
Yeah.
And like you said, you don't really see. He doesn't stand out nowhere near as much as he did at Villa, but that's because you're watching De Bruyne have these ridiculous passes.
How can you compete with that? Yeah.
You're watching Foden do this. You're watching Haaland score this hat trick.
Yeah.
But then Grealish is also doing his other stuff on the other side, but he's only doing it for 2 minutes instead of doing it for 20 minutes, sort of thing.
And he enticed Dalot, the right back, to make the foul in the first minute, and he got a booking straight away. So he's forced the right back to get a booking within a minute. So that right back's obviously thinking, right, sod that, I'm not going near him again. So
all the goals came from that side basically as well.
Yeah,
down that right side.
They're brilliant team. Oh, chance for Frankfurt. Grealish, Foden was brilliant. Obviously with a hat trick. Haaland was a joke once again. So we just got Tottenham on and Frankfurt just on the attack. So
getting penned back. No, but Haaland, it's just absolute cheat code, mate. Like, I think we said it episode 1 that this man he's what I actually sat there and watched and I thought people might laugh at me by saying this. He's doing exactly what Harry Kane would have done if he'd signed there last year.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Harry Kane, for example, how many games he played? 8?
8 games.
Harry Kane scored 7 goals.
Yeah.
In 8 games for Spurs.
Yeah,
and not one person is saying it. That is a very good record.
Ridiculous record. Yeah.
He's got the same amount of goals, I think, as Lewandowski and Benzema. Same amount of games. He's playing very well this season.
Yeah.
He's playing for a Spurs team. We're a good team. But this Man City team, if you'd put Kane in that team last year, Kane would be doing exactly the same. Look how many chances this man gets.
Yeah, I do. I believe you'd have scored hatful of goals.
He would have scored the same amount of goals, and it's they have got this.
Yeah.
Like, what is scary for me is that we've signed Jesus and he's scored 5 goals and he's been absolutely superb. I can't fault him a bit.
Yeah.
He's got 5 goals. Haaland's got 14, 13. Like, it's a joke.
It is like career mode of FIFA, and you're playing an amateur, and you just keep feeding that striker. That's all that's happening. Like you said, Jesus scoring 5. That's brilliant, and he's playing so well. Kane scoring 7. Even Mitrovic scoring 5, 6 goals. Whatever he's. Do you know what I mean? These players are doing well, but Haaland is out of this world. He has brought a whole new level, and I don't think people actually understand what he's doing. It's never happened before, and it's ridiculous. It is out of this world. Out of this world.
I've got some numbers on Haaland.
Yeah, I've probably got very similar. So I'll just say 1. He's the quickest player to 3 Prem hat-tricks in 8 games. Yeah. 8 games. I think you probably might have the people beyond him, but
it's a fast player to 3 hat-tricks in 8 games, beating the previous record, Michael Owen, 48.
Yeah. And Owen, like, these names that are on these records are ridiculous goal scorers. Aguero's on a few. I'm sure Owen, like, even Henry, whoever it might be, they're brilliant, like, world-class sort of players that you'll never ever forget, and Haaland's going to absolutely wipe the floor with
And bear in mind that Michael Owen, 48, is Ballon d'Or winning Michael Owen, who was playing his first 48 games. Like, he was...
it's Haaland is like, people actually need to realise it is a joke.
He's also the first player to score 3 hat-tricks in 3 consecutive home games.
Yeah.
Which is just...
And like we said, 14 goals in 8. I think he scored 17 or so, 18 in all comps.
Which is just bonkers.
Yeah, the bloke, and I think it was his second goal, wasn't it? The De Bruyne pass. Yeah. But I was sat there like almost, I wasn't quite celebrating, but almost laughing, like smiling. I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. Like, that goal when he just stretches, gets his stud in it, and he just gets up like smiling, like, yeah, mate, I'll do this in my sleep. It's unbelievable.
And what makes it even better is that it's not against poor old Southampton.
Yeah, he's done it. He'll do it every week.
They're thumping United 4-0, who are meant to be this big team in Manchester.
Yeah, we'll get onto the red side.
We're in the blue shadow. Yeah. And it's against David De Gea scoring goals against. He's against World Cup winning Mr. Champions League Varane, who was meant to take this league by storm, I was told.
Yeah.
I was told that we'd signed a clown in Ben White and then signed the best centre half in the world. Yet to see that centre half.
Yeah, Mini Martinez, and they brought Ericsson and Bruno and all these excellent players. McSauce in the middle, but got nothing on
We'll
Man
just
City.
finish on Haaland quick. Well, just finish on Man City. We go to United, but Haaland's third goal is my favourite though. The
Really?
cut back and the thump.
The
Most
slap.
players just caress that into the corner.
He
Bang,
just went for
thumped
it.
it.
Yeah. No, they brilliant goals. Brilliant.
And then Foden obviously scored his hat trick. Just shambolic defending for that one.
Sure, the fat lump was keeping.
Everyone had their arms up in the air. He waltzed through and smashes it in.
Yeah.
And Foden, that was his 50th goal for Manchester City. And at 22 years old and 127 days, he's the youngest player to reach 50 goals under Pep Guardiola, surpassing the record previously set by Lionel Messi.
Mr. Messi. Yeah, that's what I'm saying about Foden.
50 goals already. Oh,
Yeah.
bloody hell, man.
Yeah, and I was probably just oblivious to it, but yeah, Foden's obviously a joke of a player as well. And again, his numbers are ridiculous, but there'll be nothing on Haaland. Like it's unbelievable to see, and ridiculous start from Haaland. So, and City, and again, like we speak about Foden there, Haaland, Man City, all the rest of it. Not really mentioned De Bruyne or Gundogan, who's part of that team. Cancelo that played, and again in the same breath, that wasn't even Man City's best 11. The two centre halves were their second choices.
Kanji and Aki.
Yeah.
So Stones was out, Laporte was out, and so Diaz was out.
Diaz on the bench, really. And Laporte was on the bench. I know he's just come back from injury, I think, and then the midfield, Rodri wasn't starting either.
Yeah.
So that wasn't even their best 11. Yes, they're ridiculous side and 3 players, but yeah, just
it's scary, mate.
Yeah, it's frightening. It is absolutely frightening.
So Edison had more touches, 78, and completed more passes with 59 than any other United player on the pitch.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Although I saw that, I thought Edison does have a lot of touches and does make a lot of passes, and United aren't a possession playing team. They have Rashford up front. They play counter-attacking football. There was a respectable scoreline in the end, probably just about. Anthony scored a good goal.
Yeah, good strike, but I just think it's that's just so
it was dumb.
skewed. Like,
well, it was 6-1, wasn't it? And then he made 5 subs. He brought on all the kids.
And it was a training, because you saw, I think that the left back Sergio Gomez, he got the assist for Haaland, but at one point he was just talking to Pep like, where do I need to go, do this, do that. It was just at that point he brought on all the
Cole Palmer,
a few other young
Mahrez came on, I think. Alvarez came on.
Yeah, and City play tomorrow, I think, don't they? And they'll probably play a weakened side in. And yeah, they'll actually those players, Mahrez and Cole Palmer, they'll probably win 4 or 5-0 anyway. But yeah, when they brought them subs on, it was done when the game's finished. Yeah, it was irrelevant for them.
And United brought on the ice cold Anthony Martial.
Yeah. I think
Mr. Streets won't forget. People think he is.
Yeah, good penalty, though, great penalty.
It was a great penny.
Yeah.
And they left some people's goat on the bench. Yeah. Who, for me, man, like, what's going on there? You either have to play him. He's not a player you can have the bench. You have to play him, or you just need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
They should have let him go in the summer. If you're not going to play him.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I mean, surely that game as well. You're losing at half time. Just bring him on.
He said he didn't bring him on for respect to his career, or just.
That is
nonsense.
bollocks. That is. I try not to swear on this, but that is like bollocks. What does that mean? Like, you're disrespecting him by not playing him, by not starting him. So. How are you showing him respect by not bringing on what? So Ronaldo's not good enough, too big to play in that sort of game in the Manchester derby. What a load of rubbish. What a load of rubbish.
Nothing. They bought. How much did they spend Casemiro? 60 million, 70 million? Paying him God knows how much money a week. Why are you still starting, what's his name? McTominay and Eriksen in the deep role?
Against Man City, who are brilliant, who dominate most teams, and they got a midfield 2 of Eriksen and McTominay. What a
You just signed someone for £70 million who's won 5 Champions League, just won the Champions League, just won the Liga, shown that he can play at any level.
I
don't care if he's still adjusting, just play him.
He's got, and in a system you're playing at City, 2 holding midfielders, Casemiro literally ticks all those boxes and more.
So not saying they would have won or draw, but he's just better.
He's a better option than Eriksen. Bloody hell, Eriksen. He's the same boat as Højbjerg, so.
And just before half time, Varane came off injured.
He couldn't wait to get off.
Obviously, he seems someone who doesn't want to play through injuries.
Yeah.
Maybe he would have done for Real Madrid. I don't know, but I see him for United and just think, he just looks weak. Doesn't look like he fancies it. Doesn't look like he wants a bit. Obviously, Maguire was injured. Somehow.
Yeah.
Berg hasn't played, but he was injured. If his injury is 2-3 weeks. That means Maguire's going to come back in. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on
Yeah.
when he comes back on.
I think Varane doesn't look as good as he might previously done or should, but because of who he's playing with. So if Maguire comes back in the side, that can't help him in any way, shape or form. So
No.
yeah, Maguire, I think it could have been 10 if Maguire was playing, I think.
I just think Man United, they've had a couple of good results now. They've been put down to earth. Like
they won. I think 4 in a bounce when they won, and they're probably going to that game quite confident. But yeah, it's abysmal performance, and everything you don't want in a derby game, they did. They just showed absolutely nothing. They rolled over straight away, and
City look
just poor.
Light years ahead of them, don't they?
Yeah, and we'll get into it now if you want, but about like Neville and Roy Keane and all the rubbish that they speak, like they are, like you just said, City are so far ahead of United at the moment. That Manchester derby is not a derby, and it wasn't before because it was United were brilliant and City weren't. Basically, City were rubbish, and now Man City are so far ahead that it's just flipped the total opposite way, and yeah, United are so far behind.
For me, it's the
Man
constant
City.
agenda of United were this great. Obviously, they were superb in the early 2000s, late 90s, up until probably like 2010. Well, still Fergie left. They were they were the best team in the league. Yeah. Mate, that's 10 years ago now.
I just had enough, and the weekend, obviously me and Tate started doing this podcast talking about football, and it's almost reignited my interest in football and watching all sorts of football and the games and what people say and what people think. But after the weekend, I've had enough of listening to Roy Keane and Gary Neville go on about United. Like you
this
said,
is how we did it in our day.
The players should be embarrassed, and they're so bad, and this should never be. This is Man United. We are Manchester United Football Club. Like, that's done. It is over. Like that. When Ferguson left, it's over. Get over it, you pair of idiots. Like they're just dinosaurs, and Roy Keane is the worst for it. It's unbearable listening to him and his moaning, his cynical, old, horrible, negative views. Like it's draining.
Well, that's why I believe that's why he's been a shit manager.
Yeah.
Because he's got no empathy of these players. He can't understand that these players aren't at his level.
No,
the club isn't at this level anymore.
It's changed. It's totally flipped. And it's like when they did do on Sky Sports, but Man City now, they're a joke. They're one of the best teams in the world. They've won leagues, they've won cups, everything. They haven't won Champions League yet, but they're a brilliant side. And when Sky Sports go and get Michael Brown, Paul Dickoff, like all these,
even Mika Richards,
all these random players to go and talk about Man City, like when they played, it was nothing. They were a horrible side.
Yeah.
So you can't talk about Man City now as if you know what's going on. It's just that's the same with United. They were brilliant with Roy Keane and Neville, and now they're not. And they talk. It just doesn't work. It's so frustrating to see.
Where's that thing? It's the same as Chelsea as well. If you have the Chelsea legends from 30 years ago.
Yeah, well, the bloke on TalkSport, I hate him, Jason Cundy, talking about Chelsea because he's a Tottenham flop and played in.
I think he often forgets he played for Spurs.
Yeah, because he was awful and we hate him, and we were better than Chelsea at the time, so we flogged him to Chelsea. He's gone there and he thinks he's like some legend. Talks about Chelsea when they're really good now. It's the same thing with Roy Keane, same with all these players. It's painful, absolutely painful.
I mean, well, I will shout out the Man United fans that had to leave the game early to get the last train back to London.
Yeah, I don't blame them at all. Don't blame them. And those Cornish United fans, Sam, if you're listening down in Cornwall, hope you've cleared your tears away and you're okay for the working week. But yeah, it must be hard. It must be really hard.
But no, I don't know who they've got on Thursday. They've probably got some Europa League game again. But they've got Everton away. Well, we'll do it now while we're on the case. They've got Everton away at the weekend. We'll do our prediction a bit later.
Yeah, that'll be the game.
But that now looks a little bit of a tough game.
Yeah, and it does, because Everton are good. They're not a brilliant side, and they're just sort of basically trying not to lose. But United are all over, so you don't know what's going to turn up.
They lost there last year.
Yeah, that's a tough game, very tough game. But I would say on United, again, going back to the sort of chat about what they're like now, since Ferguson, this is just managers that were permanent, so the likes of Carrick doesn't count. But they've had Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Solskjaer, Ranić, and now Ten Hag. And in between, like I said, they had Carrick for like a few games and
gigs for
like a fucking minute or whatever it was. But so I've not even counted them. But they've had that amount of managers. Mourinho is the best. He won the League Cup, Europa League, and a Community Shield. He's the most success they've had since Ferguson. So it just reiterates the point of that period is gone. They are done. Like, Ferguson needs to stop getting involved and giving his 10 pence in. Like, it is finished. You are just move on. It is done.
And I will jump on that because that really holds a bee in my bonnet, that Mourinho era. Because that year they won. I need to clear my mind because it still irritates me now. I remember him running around saying they won the treble, whatever they won, a load of bollocks. Yeah. They beat Leicester in the Community Shield. They beat Southampton in the final of the Carling Cup, which was an absolute robbery because who was the Italian striker who played the other day for Italy, who begins with a G? He played for Southampton. Gabbiadini. Yeah. Scored twice.
Baller. And
scored a goal. Made it 1-0, maybe 1-1 at the time. Yeah. That got ruled offside. Never offside. And then it went 2-0 Southampton. I think they 2-0 Man United. Then it got back to 2-2 and Zlatan scored. But their run there was really piss easy. Yeah. And the Europa League run, do not get me started on this. If you look at their knockout run, that is the easiest ever run to a Europa League final, and even the final they played Ajax, but Ajax was when all their players were like 12.
Yeah, you had Big Dave at the back.
Yeah,
as well.
they were, but he was when he was like 19. Yeah, Ziyech was like a 16-year-old kid. And honestly, that run they played Celta Vigo in the semis. That was like the hardest team they played. Yeah. Honestly, it makes my skin crawl how easy that was. But I'm salty because the year after Arsenal then got the Europa League for the first time in my lifetime at the time, and they played Atletico in the semis, knocked out of that. Next year they got Chelsea, knocked out of that. For fuck's sake, man! Like they got such an easy draw. And I think Inter Milan then won it the next year. I know then we got knocked out against Olympiacos, which is rubbish, but Inter Milan versus I can't remember who won it that year, Seville maybe. But now the level of Europa League, I mean, not saying it's anywhere near the Champions League, but it has increased. The team's
much
got
tougher,
better.
Yeah. But
sorry to go on a rant this then.
That's okay.
It annoys me so much.
The United era is done. They are no longer that side, and the likes of Keane, Scholes, Neville, they've just got to grow up and get on with it. It's painful.
Yeah, especially Neville, but I'll get on to Neville a bit later on. Is that you all done on United?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right, we'll go for a quick break and we'll come back with the team of the week and our winners and losers of the week.
Team of the week time, Tate. Shall I kick us off with my loser of the week last week, now goalkeeper of the week?
Yeah.
Danny Ward.
So, Mr. 8 points on fantasy.
Yeah, he had a blinder, didn't he?
First clean sheet of the season, I think.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
Yeah, 22 goals were previous and a clean sheet in one. So, yeah, we'll start off with Mr. Ward in goal.
We did struggle with goalkeepers.
Yeah, they weren't, up until last night, Ward wasn't brilliant last night. He didn't have much to do, but there wasn't a lot going on, was there? No real goalie sort of played out his skin.
The couple of honourable mentions were Bournemouth and Brentford, and the only notes I got here is Skip, and Leeds and Villa 0-0 Skip, and obviously Fabianski kept a clean sheet, but I don't think he had much to do.
And I watched a lot of those games, and there wasn't. Sonny! Oh, sorry, I just screamed. Son has just missed a sitter.
Nice one, Sonny.
But yeah, no, there wasn't any real outstanding performances. Just I think Ward's probably in there more on the fact that how poor they've been, and they obviously got the win last night and a clean sheet. So yeah, Ward is the first name of the team sheet.
He made a couple of good saves in there. Yeah. And then going on to defence, I chose this one, but I think deservedly so. My mate, Big Willie.
Yeah, I don't think you could argue, can you?
He's got in a couple of these team of the weeks now. He's thinking about his third one.
Yeah, we need to be careful with.
So before we move on to the midfield, I touch it. We had to put in a rule. And the rule is that this team, there's only 6 players. The maximum we can have per team is 2.
2, yeah, I think that's fair.
Because I sent Jack a text on I think it was Saturday night, maybe even on Sunday morning. I was like, team of the week, Ramsdale, Saliba, Xhaka, Martinelli.
Yeah,
no, we're one him up, but it's more to do with Man City while we get onto it. Yeah. But no, Saliba I thought was outstanding on Saturday, especially next to Gabriel, who was a bit shaky. I think it was our best defender. In that time, he's got back with his recovery pace. And to top it off, sent
Silky.
old Skip to the shop some lovely nutmeg.
And it wasn't just like I'm just gonna tap it and run off. He like dragged it through in our box. Like, it was just
In
ridiculous.
Spurs' box.
Yeah, he's taking a piss. But,
but I thought another good game for him. Moving on to the midfield, this is where it got fun.
Yes.
So, do you want to start off the midfield, Jack?
Yeah, we went for Foden, didn't we? Phil Foden, and we've picked Trossard, both
Hat-trick heroes.
hat-tricks, and yeah, brilliant performance. Really, Foden. I saw the City game, and yeah, Foden was outstanding, wasn't he? All over, and yeah, rightly so. Both of them in there.
And if you score a hat-trick at Anfield, I think you're getting in.
You've had a good game, haven't you? So yeah, I think definitely both those in.
All weekend I'll be going, Jack, please get Xhaka in. Gotta get him in. Gotta get him in. He's resisting us. Okay, I'll let you get him in this time. And then De Bruyne obviously had that worldie.
Yeah, and De Bruyne was brilliant. He had a brilliant game, but like I said, the rule and obviously Foden and Haaland getting hat tricks is pretty obvious to go for them.
And then our mate Almiron.
He was an honourable mention, I think, for Almiron. He was close. He would have been in more of a conversation if he'd have got his third goal, I think. But
and then obviously last night Maddison, 2 goals and assist.
For a poor
was fantastic.
Leicester's first win, won it 4-0, and I think Maddison turned up last night in a good way, and he went to the vote, didn't it?
It was all good podcast. Do we very interactive with our fans, talk to our fans about
them. Engaged.
We put the post out this afternoon between Granit Xhaka, James Maddison, and Miguel Almiron, and Maddison came out on top. So Maddison,
James Maddison goes
into the team, and then the striker. I mean, there's only one man. Big Alfie's son.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland. There's not much more to speak about, is there? The bloke is a machine.
Yeah,
he's a monster drinking goth. He's got his third hat-trick in 8 games.
Did you see that photo of him and Grealish? It's like Grealish, like really popular, cool kid, and then the goth have formed a unrelenting friendship. But yeah, brilliant.
But no, that's our team of the week. Danny Ward, William Saliba, Trossard, Phil Foden, James Maddison, and Erling Haaland.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. Shall we move on to the winners and losers?
Yeah, let's do it. Who have you got for your winner?
My winner is a very, very random one. But I do like this account. I don't know what account it is, but I always see it on my Twitter. They retweet random people's bets. So this guy, Luke Firth, whoever you are, so he's from Huddersfield.
Right.
Placed a bet on the West Ham versus Wolves game. £10 stake. So, outrageous stake to put on this. Scamacca to score any time. Neves to be booked. Rice to be booked. Matinho to be booked. Jared Bowen to have over 1.5 shots. Neves to have over 0.5 shots. Podence to have over 1.5 shots. Souček over 0.5 tackles. And over 1 point offsides in the match for both teams combined. Had a return of 10 grand and £10.
Oh my God.
So I thought that's such an outrageous bet to put on.
That's a stupid bet. Obviously, that's a sign that he does all sorts of betting. So he's probably spent 10 grand in 2 weeks.
But I thought I have to shout out Luke Firth, whoever you are.
Well done, mate. Good on you. Richarlison.
You've got a
tackle.
You've got a shout out on the world famous TalkingLoyal podcast, and I hope you spend your 10 grand wisely.
Yeah, that's brilliant, mate. Fair play. That's a good win of the week. I've gone for Almiron from Newcastle. I think he's unlucky not to get in our team of the week, and sort of his performance in 2 goals have sort of been overshadowed by, like I said, other events that gone on. But his first goal, the volley, I don't know if you saw it, Tate, but yeah, that volley's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous goal.
It was Grimares' little chip, went it over the defence, and left foot out of nowhere completely beats Leno. It's just like, wow, what a strike that is.
Yeah. So Almiron for my win of the week. Outrageous goal really, and quite a good game, I think.
Since that comment Jack Grealish made about him, he's
done alright.
He's outscored him and got more assists.
A bit like me and Højbjerg, I think. But
Højbjerg's made a lovely through ball there through the legs.
Yeah. Almiron, brilliant goal, mate. Well done. Loser of the week, Tate?
Loser of the week. Well, a bit harsh this one. I was going to go for someone else. I wasn't going for Gary Neville, but I'm going to wait for a few more weeks to get some more reasons behind that. My loser of the week this week, unfortunately, is Fulham. The reason being, they just had an absolute disaster this weekend. The team have been started well this season, but a red card, a shocking challenge from Chalobah. This is the whole team thing. Red card after 8 minutes. 1-0 down 3 minutes later. They got absolutely battered at home. It was 4-0 into the last minute.
Yep.
Mitrovic coming off injured after 27 minutes. And then you're bringing on your old mate, what's his name, Vinicius. Carlos Vinicius. Yeah, he came off 27. He's their next striker.
Oh.
And I just think...
He's awful.
They're without Mitrovic and you've got Vinicius up front.
Yeah.
They could be slipping down the table, and I just think that's a really poor result. I know they're obviously down to 10 men, but there's ways to play with 10 men.
5-6 minutes, he just
it's a shocking challenge. I just think as a whole team thing that was just horrendous.
Yeah, it was poor.
They just had a really, really bad weekend.
Yeah, no, don't disagree. I went with my loser of the week is Steve Cooper from Forest, the Forest manager. I just think after last night, the 4-0 drubbing, they just constantly leaking goals. And yeah, I just don't think. I mean, yes, this week has been poor, but in general, like he's been a part of their transfer window this summer. He's allowed them to sign all these 20 plus different signings, new players, all an assortment of positions and players and
personalities,
ages and people and all sorts. I just don't know how or why he's allowed it. He's done an incredibly brilliant thing and one of the hardest things to get promoted to the Prem with a side that. Historically, the fans believe they should be in a much higher position. Just sort of trust yourself and trust the players you had to come into league and just finish 17th or just sneak into the back in the Prem and build from there. And then over the coming seasons, add a couple players here and there, not do what they've done and spend.
Well, we've seen that doesn't work as well. We've only got to watch Fulham last 2 years.
It just doesn't work, and these players that come in. Like even Aurier and Lodi from the left back from Atletico Madrid, Morgan Gibbs-White being signed for a record signing. They don't care. Aurier's not gone, you know what, I'm going to go play for Steve Cooper at Forest and I'll keep him in the league. He does not care. He just wants the money.
Yeah.
He's out of all the options he's probably given, Forest in the Prem is the best option on a good wage. He's in England. He's buzzing it. These players don't even know who Steve Cooper is. It's just I think he's had a real poor time, and I think he'll get sacked soon. There was rumours last night he was going to get. I think he'll get sacked because they're a shocking side, and he says, "Oh, we need time, but you don't have time. You don't have time in the Premier League." So
and now they're bottom as well.
Yeah, and then it's not improving. Last night played really well and lose 4-0. They're awful, absolutely awful side. So yeah, Steve Cooper, loser of the week.
Yeah, no, I think that's a valid one, and. Right, let's move on to our prediction for
next coming week.
For the week. So, strangely enough, it's a Sunday game at 7 o'clock.
A shocking time, isn't it?
The reason behind that is because of the European football and broadcast TV rights. So originally, United were meant to play at 12:30, but that's why there's no 12:30 game this kickoff. This was this kickoff this weekend, because United were. In the Europa League, so if you play Thursdays, you then can't play that bloody 12:30 game.
Shocker,
but because it's a BT game,
the
5:30 slot on Saturday you can't play, the 2 o'clock slot on Sunday you can't play, and the 4 o'clock slot you can't play. So they've had to play it then. So
what have you gone for?
That's right. So talking off camera, we actually went for the same result. So it was 1-0 Everton last year. I'll push it out.
You change it?
Yeah, I'll change it.
Okay. You don't have to.
2-1 Everton.
Alright, that's fine. Yeah,
2-1 Everton.
Like I say, I'm going to go 1-0, I think.
Come on, Frank.
Yeah, I've off camera as well. I've started a sneaky career mode with the Toffees.
Have you taken over as Frank? Or have you taken over
as Fat Frank? It's going off. So after tonight,
who have you signed?
Back to my bedroom. Just got into.
God, tell me you signed. I'm interested.
Just got into January transfer window. I'm trying. I want to keep it realistic. So I hate people go, "Oh yeah, I don't agree about Chelsea. Got a financial takeover and bought Messi." No, dead out. So
do you play? Do you keep the summer window shut the first when you first do it?
I'll definitely. Otherwise, just get rid of FIFA. Yeah, 100%. No, so quickly, I've signed Luke Thomas from Leicester, left back.
Yeah.
Good player, 21 years old. And then I've recalled Moise Kean from Juve.
Yeah.
because he's quality on the game. So I've recalled him. I got a free agent. Is it Denia or whatever he played for?
Jason Denier.
Yeah, he played for Celtic, didn't he? For a bit.
He played for Sunderland and Man City. That one, the
Yeah.
Belgian guy.
Yeah, the Belgian.
With like the dreads.
Yeah, he's like 27 years old, 78 overall, like 6'1". He's a big bloke. But then that's it at the minute. It's still halfway through January, so I need a centre fielder. So yeah, lads out there, if you're smashing your career modes, please let me know. I need a box-to-box centre fielder.
Iwobi.
He's already in there, mate. He's in
He
there. He's vital. Him, Onana, Gordon plays it inside, just off the right-hand side there. They're a joke of a team, to be fair. Very good.
When he signed Xhaka?
No. He's too old. He's
too old.
He's also rubbish.
We're looking for experience, youthful plus...
Højbjerg. Never. No, sorry. Everton 1-0. I just think United got slapped the game just gone. Everton on a bit of a run. Frank will fancy it, I reckon. They'll do it a little... Maybe a Damari Gray cutting from the left, bending the far corner, 1-0 Everton.
Well, I would love United to play Maguire and then lose again. That would just...
that would be good.
Be fantastic.
That would be good.
Right. Just before we end the podcast, we'll revert back to the teaser. So, just to remind you all, Manchester City became only the third side in the Premier League history to have 2 players score hat-tricks in a single game. Can you name the others?
No idea.
I'll give you one clue before we start. Out of the 2 games, there's the same team who gets scored. Let me rephrase this.
6 goals twice.
No, there's some bit more than so. The team that concedes the goals is the same team.
Okay.
If that makes any sense to
Yeah,
you.
no, I'm with you. So basically, it's happened for 2 different teams, but against the same team.
Yes, correct. Yeah, you worded that far better.
I'm rubbish at these. Absolute rubbish. So if it's recent, I'm thinking
I'll give you another clue.
Southampton have been smashed. So it must be Southampton. Well, not must be, but they've been smashed twice.
Southampton's that team, yeah.
Is the team, and they played. Was it Liverpool?
No.
No, they don't get smashed by Liverpool.
No.
Who did they play at home? They played Leicester at home, and got smashed. So is it Leicester?
Yes.
Who's Leicester?
So Southampton versus Leicester is 1.
Is one of them, yeah.
So that's 1 point.
Leicester hat-trick. Madison.
Nope.
Vardy.
Correct.
Vardy was one of them. I thought it was Vardy and Madison, but obviously not. Vardy, Leicester. Who's the other team? It's definitely obvious. People are screaming at the thing. Was it semi-recently? It must have been.
That 9-0 was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's before lockdown.
Lost. Absolutely lost. I got Leicester, Vardy. That's it. That's about as good as I get.
You have one wild guess, one Leicester player, and I'll give you the answer.
One Leicester player. So it's Mahrez.
Close. Iosi Perez.
It's Perez. Was Mahrez even playing for them?
No.
Yeah. Awful. Yeah. I don't know.
So the other one is against Southampton. Not recent. It was a while back.
Oh, okay. Was it United?
No.
I don't know, mate. You have to tell me.
Arsenal.
Was it Arsenal?
Yeah. And it was the start of Arsenal's 49 unbeaten streak.
I was so nowhere near that year. Nowhere near.
2000 would have been 2003.
I was nowhere near that.
2 players. 2 Arsenal players from 2003.
Perez.
Yep.
Henry.
No. Jermaine
Pennant.
On his debut.
Ooh.
So, I was impressed there.
Yeah, I did alright. Leicester.
So out of the how many points was up for grabs?
Really, 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2.
2 teams. I got 1.
Yeah.
And a bonus.
Well, you got Vardy and Perez. Not bad.
Yeah, it's not a terrible effort.
Probably your best one so far.
Yeah. That's hard though. Yeah, I was nowhere near Arsenal, but a good question again, Tate.
No,
very good.
You did that very well. Well, thank you everyone for listening again. And if you could take the time out to just leave a review on Apple Music or something like that.
Yeah.
We got a few. It takes a couple of minutes. It really help us grow down there. We've got a lot of 5 stars on Spotify, which is great. But if you've got an iPhone and you just want to drop us a 5 star, drop us a 5 star on there and just a review on that. That would be great. It'll boost us up the charts.
I really appreciate it.
We are now on YouTube.
Yes, big news.
So slowly but surely we'll upload the podcasts onto YouTube. They take hours. I
Yeah.
don't know if anyone's ever done YouTube before. For an audio to then video and then to convert and then to upload a text, about 3 hours per one. So the first episode's on there.
Video footage from the bunker is pending. So.
Yeah, there will be there's some content pending that we might get some videos out or whatnot. But yeah, subscribe on there. And it's a thing on YouTube, you can leave reviews better on that.
Yeah, and it's just another. It's not like, oh, look at us. It's just another way to listen to it. It's not. Yeah, it's another platform we can use. So why not go for it? But yeah, people use all sorts: YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on Google and things. So
Amazon Music as well. And
wherever you listen to, if you can, rate it, leave a response, keep listening, keep sharing it, and we're just glad people are enjoying it.
Yeah, so thank you again for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, stay loyal.